Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, NerdModon, and welcome to episode 11 of Battle Reports, a video series where I will be going over a particular weapon in Battlefield 4 and breaking down the statistics of the weapon to provide you guys with a better idea of how the weapon is going to perform. So without further ado, let's get started. For this week's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the ACW-R. Now, this weapon does have the second fastest rounds per minute, clocking in at 880 rounds per minute. Now, this weapon does have a 500 meters a second velocity, which is actually pretty average. That's not very great, but at the same expense, that's also not bad. Now, of course, transferring your guys' eyes over to the damage model, you'll note that this weapon does a maximum damage of 25 damage up until 8 meters, and then of course after 8 meters you're going to see a gradual decline of the overall damage being outputted. However, the minimum damage that this weapon can occupy is 15.4 damage, and that is reached at 50 meters. Now let's take a look at the magazine as well as the reload speeds to give you guys a better idea of how this weapon is going to perform, especially in those engagements that require you to constantly have ammunition in your magazine. So of course you guys will notice that this weapon does have the fastest short reload clocking in at 1.83 seconds, as well as a long reload clocking in at 2.37 seconds. Now alongside that information, you'll notice that this weapon does have a 30 round magazine plus one in the chamber. Of course you add those both together and you're going to get 31 rounds total. Now of course, alongside taking a look at the magazine and reload speeds, we should also take a look at the recoil numbers, considering that these are the most prominent information you'll run into contact with, considering that you guys will either be suppressing the opposition or by itself pulling the trigger. So starting things off, you guys will notice on the horizontal side that this weapon does have a left pull of 0.4 as well as a right pull of 0.3. Now of course, taking a look at the vertical side of things, you'll notice that this weapon is going to be kicking upward at 0.38. Now this particular weapon does have a first shot multiplier of 2.3 times, so it's definitely going to increase that information we just got done talking about, considering if you're going to be peppering the trigger or in some cases just bursting it overall. But overall, I would say the ACW-R is definitely a very aggressive weapon. It's going to allow you to definitely be up in front of the opposition at those medium to close range engagements, as well as the 880 rounds per minute is definitely going to be very effective against melting players, especially at those ranges. Now alongside that, you also have the reload speeds that are going to be very important, especially in those engagements. It still allows you to definitely get a quick reload in, or even in many cases maybe even a long reload in, especially if you're going to be in tight engagements that require you to constantly have more ammunition in your magazine. But when it comes down to the main gist of it, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Of course, if you guys would like to recommend a weapon for next week, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I do take your guys' submissions as priority one, so you always have a very good chance of getting your weapon featured. But until the next episode, guys, this has been NMO, and I'm going to be signing out. Peace.